hello everyone, and let me know who's watching. And also, don't be embarrassed to let yourself heard, and also let yourself known wherever you are. So it's okay if you want to talk about anything. There is and there's any issues that we always discuss on this platform. And as I always say, that this is something that we have created for people to talk about and share with each other. And it's not about being an expert about a certain topic or any particular subject at all. It's more about being in tune with each other, and also feeling the vibe that you have someone supportive around you. So first of all, we already have Esther. Well, she's not here sitting with me, but you can see her on the comments. So anyone who's watching, please let yourself be known, and wherever you are tuning in from and where you're watching this show from. So for anyone who's watching for the first time, again, this is Knowing Who You Are live stream. And also you can catch all the previous shows on iTunes and Spotify. And also we do the live shows. You can also visit our page, which is knowingwhoyouare.blog. So let me give you a little bit of background story. What happened? Last few days, because every now and then, whenever we had done the live stream the last few months, we had been a little bit irregular, I would confess. And that's what's been happening. And every time we would come with a live stream, I always said, okay, from this point onwards, we'll be quite regular. But most of the time, it didn't happen. And I'm really sorry that we couldn't keep to the promises. But I'm trying my best. So this time, rather than making a commitment, I'll rather make a commitment to myself silently, saying that I would make it happen. It's with myself rather than to you. Then I break it again, letting you down. So what happened today when I was coming back from work? Because it's been sitting in the back of my mind for quite some time now. I've been thinking about it. That okay, what's happening? The things that I love to do. First of all, being productive, creating more things, learning new things, and filling up the times of the day with productive work. It's not the idea of keeping myself busy through a time rather than producing much, but always feeling that I'm busy. So I'm doing a lot. But every time I'm doing something with a purpose that at the end of it, there's something happening. And I'll see some positive outcome or get some result out of it. So that was my goal always had been. So I thought with that end in view, why not do something that we keep on compounding over time and also scale it up. So what happened? I had been thinking, okay, recently, as I've been share with you multiple times that things had been quite busy to a certain extent. It's been hectic as well. So certain things have stopped, like the regular interviews. I haven't been able to sit down to edit the videos and also post as regularly as possible, also the live streams. So I've been trying to be on top of it, and main thing is my work, training, and also my studies. These are the things that's been taking most of my time. But I'm trying to get back on track because productivity is something I feel like that gives me some kind of purpose. So let's talk about things like what gives you some kind of purpose in your life that you feel like, okay, now you have some momentum, that you're doing something that's making you feel that there's some meaning to your life. What are the things? And while doing that, what I'm going to do, I'll put that phone number on screen so you can give us a call live on the show. And also, so since it's a live stream and I'm managing it all, so every now and then you'll see me doing other things. So please bear with me. Okay, so you can call now live. Everything is ready. If you want to give us a call and talk to us, you can, or talk to me. There's no us today, it's just me. So I see a few people are watching at the moment. So if you want to give me a phone call or call live on the show and discuss, because what I was saying that for me, when I learn new things, constantly learn, and when I keep on honing those skills at the same time, not just learn and finish it there, but also make it better every day, and also try to make an effort, then I'm learning something new. Whether by learning a few pages of a book. There are multiple books that I keep on reading all the time, but one of my friends the other day was asking, so do you get to finish any book? There are times some of the books I haven't finished because I felt along the line whatever information I needed from them I had got, and also some of the books probably I felt that they're a little repetitive, so I can fill that time with reading something else. So tell me, what is that one thing at the moment you're doing and you feel that by doing that you find some meaning to it? So I would like to listen to that conversation coming directly from you, where you'd share that one particular thing that gives you some meaning in your life and you feel that, okay, it's going forward. Because that's the thing. Because let me share with you another interesting thing. Because I came back from work, and what happened was that, as I was saying, that I was listening to a book, and before that I was listening to a podcast because it was a long journey. And every now and then I feel like, okay, I need to write more, I need to read, definitely. Well, I'm doing, my reading is there, but live stream, connecting more, and get those message across through the live streams or through the platform of Knowing Who You Are. And what am I doing? And how I'm spending my time. How can I get some more time out of some other activities and fill that in to do some more productive work, or some work that would make me feel that I have more purpose, and I'm driven towards the vision that I have for my life, and also for this platform as a whole. So with that, I came home, I grabbed some quick dinner, cooked a little bit, and just said that I have to do a live stream. But at the same time, I had a plan of going to the gym. But Esther suggested, why don't you, since you're already kind of, I didn't change, I didn't do anything. I just came home and straight away sat down and set the studio up, and I'm here now for the live stream. And I thought, she said that just do the live stream first, then go to the gym. So it's about habit. What I feel about going to the gym for me. Let's talk about habit. If you are, you know that I talk about it, and every now and then I discuss, and especially this is one big topic everywhere you listen to people talking about habits, habit building. Some people are struggling, or some people have picked up new habit and how they are keeping at it, and sometimes they're failing. So there are some interesting, definitely concepts, practices, and many things over the years now, because we had some amazing books that's been written about it. There are numerous books I can name, some of them, and also many different podcasts around that topic, and people are doing a lot of practices around that too. So I felt, how about sharing my habit and how I feel about my habits. So normally, this is one thing about gym. So how it works for me, because normally we feel that I'm not motivated to do certain thing, and the motivation that doesn't come for me, and I am not being able to do it. But mostly what happens when you see the result, when you do something, and that's when you feel motivated, and that's what has happened for me. So Esther has another comment. I would love to hear some summaries or reviews of some of the books you have recently read that helped you. Wow. That would be quite a, to be honest with you, I haven't really sat down, like prepare an organized summary to talk about those books. There have been a lot of reading happening at the back of me, as you can see. They're sitting, and there's some books on the other side as well. So there's one book. It's Rick Rubin's The Creative Act, A Way of Being. Many of you might know Rick Rubin. He is a famous producer who worked with Metallica, Red Hot Chili Peppers. and numerous other artists I can name. It's a long list, from rap to heavy metal to rock, anything, and funk. He worked with a lot of different artists who aced in their own field and in their genre. So he has that experience. So I'm reading that book, but it's not about music production. It's not about techniques of music production. It's more about how to find your creativity, and how he explained it, that while he was writing this book, he wanted this book to be timeless. So it's not about his life, because he felt that if it's about his life and his technique, and things would change going forward. Because today I was rereading a book called Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. I'm going to talk about that, add a little bit of snippet about this, but let me finish the train of thought about Rick Rubin's book. So he said that he wanted to write this book, first of all, it has to be timeless. So he wrote about something that would stand true even a few years down the line and for many years to come. So he talked about creativity and the idea of being creative. Say, for a human being to be creative, sometimes we feel like, okay, I have a good voice, I can sing, or someone who can write good poetry. But he was saying that we all are creative. And in doing so, you just have to find the ways to bring that creativity out and share it with the rest of the world. So people who are joining now, I'm talking about this book because Esther requested to share a summary or review of some of the books I'm reading. So it's by Rick Rubin, The Creative Act, A Way of Being. So he's a legendary music producer. So that's the book I'm talking about. So it's more about a spiritual book where he shares about the idea of creativity and how we can bring that creative element that's sitting inside us and residing inside every one of us, and how to share this one with the rest of the world. So anyway, this is one of the books and I'm loving it. The chapters, like every 3-4 page, a chapter is not that long, it's 3 to 4 pages. So it's almost my bedtime read. So yeah, let's get back to the idea of Morgan Housel's The Psychology of Money. So there was an idea. He was talking about why I mentioned this one. The idea of timelessness, or creating something that changes over time. So when Rick Rubin said that, he didn't want to talk about his life, because going forward, we don't realize we have there's some kind of illusion we have. There's a word for it, interesting word, I forgot now, that we are quite aware that in life we have changed over time. We are quite mindful of that, but we don't remember, or we don't remind ourselves that going forward there will be a time when we'll change further. And we always think that where we are now, that's the final destination and we won't change from there. So we'll have to accept that there will be times every now and then in life that there will be different period of your life than how we are planning our life and things, how we look at things, this will change. So from that point of view, Rick Rubin's book was very relevant. He said that he would write about a topic that people going down the line, going forward many years from now, they will still find that this idea that he would put forward through his book that would resonate with all of us. So anyway, so about habit building. I was saying from my own experience, you can share that too, that in terms of habits.
I'm not sure I understand.
Oh, it's my watch. Sorry, it's talking to me. So I'm saying whenever I started building a habit, first how I do it, I make sure until I get the result out of that, I don't find it motivating. So problem is that you will ask me, Ershad, so how do you keep at it? How do you keep on doing it day after day after day? Say for me, gym, that going there from 5 to 6 days a week. How do I do that? Even after work, even sometimes getting up quite early in the morning to go to the gym before work. How do I do this one? Because now I have seen the result. And well, for me, I started when I was very young. I was in high school at that time. Hello, Shushmita. Hello, Shushmita. Congrats again. I saw that you graduated recently, and thank you. Thank you for joining and your support. So, for me, habit building, how it happened, basically, let's talk about my habit of going to the gym or looking after my health. Definitely, there have been ups and downs over the years, but now I feel that because as we grow older, unless we look after ourselves, our health, and what we are putting in our body, what we are eating, our sleeping patterns, and what time we're going to bed, and what we are drinking, eating, or our nutrition is very important, and also definitely being active is very important. So as I'm growing older, I feel like since I had this habit always there for me, but I have become more regular, I would say. So since I have seen the results, definitely physically, fitness wise, I feel that I have seen the result. That keeps me motivating. So what happens is that definitely there are times that your muscle need, the muscles, they would need the rest. But I have to take a rest day. And I feel like those days that, oh no, I need to go. So I have reached that point when I feel like I have to do that. But how we do that? Sometimes we feel that when we have gained a habit, or we have formed some kind of habit, that we have to keep at it. Either we do it 100% or we don't do it at all. And if we do it 80% or 75 or 60%, we feel that it's not enough. So I have changed that mindset, and that helped me. I think if I would give you at least 1 or 2 pointers about habit, I would say just show up and keep doing it. Even say some days I go to the gym, I stay there for 1.5 hours. But there are days I know that, okay, either probably I got up from bed a little later because the night before I probably stayed up late. So I probably don't have 1.5 hours before work. It's just 45 minutes I can be at the gym. But there used to be times when I used to think that, okay, if it's not 1.5 hours, what should I do? I shouldn't go at all. But then I didn't realize that I'm missing out the benefit of some workout on that day. And I left it all together. It's 0 or 100%. But now I have changed. So even if I have half an hour or 45 minutes, I will go and do it anyway. And what it feels, you'll see those small increments, the small increment of changes you see in your body, in your health, in your the whole mental makeup. It changes, because what happens is that, as I said, there are a lot of physical like blood flow to your brain and your heart, and the whole motion that creates, and how your muscle, this whole stretching and everything that you do during your workout sessions, it creates a lot of benefits for us. So remember that when you are building a habit, and when you are working towards a particular habit that you want that to stay with you, don't be too harsh on yourself, and don't push yourself that, okay, you have to be, because that's one of the things we do. Too earlier in the stage of building a habit, we sometimes get burnt out. So let's not do that. If you do it a little bit incremental, say to 10 minutes, 15 minutes, half an hour. Because I can give you an example about that. I had an issue with running. And thankfully enough, after I joined the Royal Navy, during that time, I had to do my fitness tests twice, and a year. Basically, it ran out, and I have to do it again. Things like that. But it's a little rigorous. I have to run. I have to run within a certain period of time. But I used to dread running. At the gym, everything I would do straight away, I wouldn't stretch. Very bad, and I had sustained a lot of injury because of that, because I wouldn't stretch straight away. I would just take up weights. The things I love to do, I just do. So I learned I have to stretch to avoid injury. And another thing, running, how I did that. I started following up, doing reading, watching videos of long distance runners, how they stretch and how they keep maintaining their breathing, and how they can keep on running for hundreds of miles without feeling tired, or even when they feel tired, what they do. So I've been studying on that. And then I started applying those things on me. And now you won't believe, because I stayed with that habit, but I used to do like, okay, do half a kilometer or a kilometer at a time. And that's how I started doing it. And now, whenever I go to the gym, anytime, this is the best time I have whenever I'm on the treadmill, I'm running. So I feel that it's very important, first of all, take incremental changes in your habit building sessions, and whatever you do, or even the regimen you're following, just take small increments and do it. Keep at it for a while. And make sure that you do even a little bit of that. Say, for example, your current habit could be you are going to the gym or even working out at home for 10 minutes. So even if you can't do it 10 minutes, just do it 2 minutes. Just at least do something. So your body knows that it has to do it, and you have to make your body learn the whole pattern of things and also how it responds to it. Because if you keep on breaking the habit, the habit formation, it suffers. So that's one thing. And also, when you start doing something, you won't get the results straight away. So you have to keep at it for a while, even if you do for a short time. But once you start seeing the result, the motivation would come, and then you feel like that you have to keep on doing. Okay, enough of that. I feel that it would help you understand a little bit of about the habit building ideas, and it's from my point of view, and definitely it resonate with some of the ideas. Definitely I gain and I try to from other writers and people who had talked about habit building activity or habit building system for a long time, and I have taken some ideas from them which I applied on myself, and some of them worked, some of them didn't. And we have to understand that it doesn't work the same way for everyone, because all of us are quite different people and different human beings. Our body, our physical structure, and our mental makeup and everything, our mindset, everything is quite different from each other. So what took me, say, a week or 21 days, it might take you a year or 6 months. But don't get disappointed, and don't compare yourself to someone else who had done it within 21 days probably, or 31 days or 30 days. So it could be a different time for yourself. Okay, enough about me. So I hope it helped you. So you let me know if there's anyone out there who's watching, if you have a habit that you're working towards. You're trying to build a habit and you're working towards it, be it writing, reading, running, going to the gym, looking after yourself, cooking healthier food, and looking after your nutrition, anything. And we have other people who are watching at the same time. They can share with you. So is there anyone out there who'd like to share their ideas with me? You can start by commenting on it, and then you can give a phone call. Esther says reading every day and working out. So how is Esther doing it? I don't know if Esther can call us on the show. Either she can comment. I can read that out. So reading every day and working out, that's Esther's habit that she's trying to change, or she's trying to form at the moment. I see, since Esther and I, we share the same household, she's my wife. So I know that she reads, at least bedtime reading is there, definitely. And throughout the day, she is reading either for academic purposes, for her training as a graphic designer. But during the bedtime, before going to bed, before we turn the lights off, I think she reads a little bit when I do some reading too. So I have different reading sessions, but I have just before going to bed, rather than being on my phone and putting some blue light, or using some blue lights to take me further away from my sleep, I do some reading. So that brings that tiredness, just mental tiredness, and slowly it winds me down. So this is how I do it. So yeah, Esther can share how she's doing it and how she's keeping up with a workout regimen, because that would be like some kind of accountability. Even though I've been asked, Esther requested me that to keep her accountable and ask and check if she's working out regularly. there have been times I'm doing it. There have been times when I'm just putting my trust in her, thinking that she would keep at it and she would do it. And there have been times she had missed and she confessed. This is one of the things. So when we are building a habit, having accountability partner, someone you would share with and someone who check up on you that whether you're keeping at it or not, it's very important. So, okay, as I said, we have, again, this interesting topic that I wanted to talk about. I felt that it's a very important thing for many people, because sometimes I have met with people who just ask me about a certain book. Say they would ask me, okay, tell me about a book that would help me come out of my anxiety, that I'm being very anxious all the time. And I want to read about a book that would help me with my anxiety. So I without being judgmental, I felt that that person was reeking of quite heavy smoke, and you could smell that she smokes heavily. And you could also see bags under her eyes, which indicated kind of that she doesn't sleep properly. So sometimes, if you're reading a book and it gives you some kind of prescription, it doesn't help, because it's a holistic process. So if you're sleeping properly, you're putting the right thing in your body, you're eating, your nutrition is looked after. It doesn't have to be expensive. We can have good nutrition out of quite cheaper and naturally sourced food. And then how much you're drinking, if you're a heavy drinker, or how much you're smoking, and whether you are keeping up late, how much sleep you're getting. Based on that, slowly everything affects your stress, cortisol hormone, and everything that would come down, and how you're reacting to any certain event. And that will also show that how anxiety is affecting you. So these are the elements that one thing you cannot pinpoint. You have to sort out things from the source, and slowly everything has a compounding effect, and it builds up. Slowly you get the result. So how you behave or how you act on a day-to-day basis. Say, for example, some people might be picking up their phone. Say they're bored, right? They are bored out of their mind, and they're thinking, what I can do to fill up this time. They would pick up their phone. They probably would watch this live stream. Definitely, there are times when I can't be at my best, and I don't say that I'm doing amazing job. And there are some amazing podcasters already who've been doing things for years, for 8 years, 9 years, 10 years. And I'm doing whatever I'm capable of from that point. But there are people, say someone might have seen a blog post that I have done. So they have picked up their phone and they're thinking, okay, I have nothing useful to do, how to fill up my time. So rather than, they probably are watching this, they are thinking, or they'd like to comment or say on my blog post, they're trying to find fault with it, or trying to find some loopholes, and thinking that, okay, how I can find some loopholes in the conversation, or how I can show that certain things they're sharing in their blog post has already been shared by someone else. But definitely, whenever I share a blog post, you'll see that I will share the source, and whether it's a quotation or something, I'll always put that. But people might think sometimes that how to spend that time finding fault with others, because that's a negative pattern. That time you could have used for yourself to improve yourself. Just do a bit of workout, do some reading, or try to learn something that you want to learn. And this is how you can fill up your time, rather than if you are doing something that is negative and won't bring anything productive for your life, or anything positive for your life. So it's better to restrain from those. So as I was saying, when you're building a habit, it is a process that everything you do in each step, or every step of the way up to that habit that's here, it has compounding effect. You can't just change one thing and expect that the rest of the things will take care of themselves on its own. So you have to do everything in order. You have to put them in order, and then you see the linear effect that it would bring. Esther is saying, but working out, I have to force myself by taking it off on my calendar each time. Okay, so that's how she does that. Okay, I have a message about the background music, which probably is a little bit distracting. So yeah, thanks for the comment. And Esther says that you are my main inspiration. Okay, that's very nice of you, Esther. Thank you for saying that. So how am I the main inspiration? I would like to hear beyond a commentary on love. Definitely. When we find someone to be our inspiration, we have respect and love for this person and we want to learn from them, definitely. So how Esther finds that from me, it'd be interesting conversation. I'd like to know from her. And anyone who's watching now, please let yourself be known. And as I said, the number is there, 07308192908. And as we had already discussed that from this point onwards, Livestream would be doing. Sometimes Esther would be joining, sometimes Esther would not join because she has other commitments. So the podcast is one of my commitments, my priorities. So I definitely am accountable to everyone who watches it regularly, or at least who supports the platform. So I have to be here. So I am here. But definitely after that, Esther works behind the scene for the graphics and music. So it's a teamwork. So yeah. Anyone who is trying to build a habit and how you are working towards it and what are you struggling with, if you share with me or share with us, that'd be great. And we can talk about it. And we might have some information from other people. They might say that how they're doing it and how they have overcome the obstacles they might have faced during forming a habit or something positive, and what things they have changed, what they were struggling with. So it'll be an interesting discussion. I see that quite a few people are watching, so if you let yourself known, and there'll be interesting conversation, and it would help me. As you can imagine, for an hour just talking to myself. I mean, I had practiced this from I think 2004, 2005, roughly on television when I had to do a 3-hour show on TV late at night talking to myself, and that was something. And I learned the hard way, and standing in front of the camera until 3 o'clock in the morning, 1 to 3. So 2 hours, I would talk straight. No, from 12 to 3. So 3 hours, 7 days a week. I had done that. So I had done my homework in that department, so I can keep on doing it. But still, I feel that it's always nice to have conversation with other people. And since knowing who you are, it's about knowing ourselves. So it's not only about knowing myself, so it's also about learning from you when you have known yourself and your journey, my journey. We can share our journey, and it can have a compounding effect when we can benefit from it collectively. Esther says, you are inspiring me because you're working full-time, you are doing your master's, and you are serving as an officer in the Royal Navy in addition to full-time work, and you still manage to go to the gym regularly. If you can do it, then I can. And if I don't, I'm just admitting I'm lazy. Thank you. That's really nice of you, and I appreciate that. And that's true. But having said that, definitely if you don't, you're admitting that I'm lazy. I understand where you're coming from, but we have to be also kind towards ourselves. And as I said, that when you're building a habit, there would be time when you won't be able to keep at it 100%. So if you're used to doing it at the moment, 20 minutes of workout, so there would be time, if you don't feel like doing it, do 10 minutes. But make sure that you do it. Like today, I'll be going to the gym after the podcast. I'm doing live. It's now 8:45 in the UK. So after that, I'll go to the gym and I'll do, even if I can do it for half an hour, 45 minutes or an hour or something, I'll just put my time in. So that's what the idea is. And also, say, for example, one of the habit also for this podcast in 2023, despite all the commitments that I have, I want to start doing it regularly. So I will be there. This is my struggle. As you can see, every time I commit to you and to myself, that I'll be here regularly. It's a weekly live stream I'll put the interviews that I've done. I'll finish editing all of them and start putting them out. I haven't been. So you can see there had been a bit of a struggle on my part too. But I'm fighting that demon. So I have come from work. I had my dinner and I sat down for this live stream. And my plan is to go to the gym, because one thing, I cannot stop one thing for the other. But at the same time, I have to do it. But I know that once I finish this live stream, I'll be very motivated to carry on. I might start editing my videos. This is one of my ways. This is the commitment that I've made to myself, and one of the ways to drive me forward, that I'm trying to get the motivation through the outcome. My outcome is that I'll finish doing this live stream, and I've set myself down that I have to do this live stream, no excuses. I probably would have used that time to do something else. I might sit down to watch, while I'm having dinner, like half an hour of something on TV. Rather than doing that, I thought, okay, have a quick dinner, sit down, do your live stream. And once I have it under my belt, I'll feel that I'm ready to do more podcasts, live streams. And this is one of the things that drives me forward, because I want to create something. And also the things I'm learning, I want to share with other people. And I want to learn from other people as well. So this is why it's very important to me, one of my priorities. And I have to build that habit, that how I had done it over the years for Knowing Who You Are up to now, I have to do it in 2023 even better. So Shushmita says, work plus study plus gym, wonderful work-life balance, keep it up. Thank you. Great, Shushmita. It's really great to see that you're reading it, you're watching it, and you're commenting on it very actively. So Shushmita, let us know. I have seen that you graduated recently, and I've seen a picture, but I didn't get to know which subject and where you have finished it and how long you have to study for it. So please share with us. That'd be great. So we can discuss about that and how you manage, because you are a mother of two. And you have recently come to London from Bangladesh, and you're studying. You have to you manage your family wonderfully. I've seen it myself. And you are a mother of two, as I said. You are a homemaker as well. And you have your hobby. You're an amazing photographer. Then you're studying. So how you managing all these things yourself, let us know too. That'd be great. And it will be, say for example, we have different aspects of our life. So I'm doing my work, study, gym, music, reading, writing, other things. So you are doing your hobby, managing your family, looking after your kids, and looking after your family, your husband, your two kids, and at the same time finished your study as well. You graduated, and as you said, international business with data analytics. It's amazing. So you have finished that too. So big congratulations again. So see, we have a lot of things to learn from each other. So share with us, how do you manage, or how you managed, how you finished your study? Because all these things that I'm doing, there are times that I feel I'm struggling, but then on the other side, I make it happen again. So share some tips with us, how you did that, how you managed to look after your children, your husband, your family, and then you finished your studies. And at the same time, you find time for your hobby, which is photography. You do amazingly. So share with us. You can give us a call as well. And the number is 07308192908, or you can comment. Either way, whatever is easier for you. So we can talk about it. And people who are watching, anyone who's joining now, it's a weekly live stream of Knowing Who You Are. Having said that, weekly, this is for 2023. This is my commitment again, that I want to make it weekly thing. So no matter what, I'll try to be here as I'm trying to do today after work. And after this, I'm going to the gym again. So no matter what, I'm just trying to build that habit again, trying to work that muscle, that I cannot avoid it. No matter what, no excuses. The weekly live stream has to be there. So this is my commitment to myself. Thanks, Bhaiya, for the motivational appreciation. And definitely, I mean, I have to, and it's not or should I say that, patronizing, or I'm not just trying to say that you've done it just for the sake of it because you're commenting. I'm just thinking that I should share some kind words or good words for you, but I mean it. It's true. So how you're doing it and how are you doing it? Let us know, Shushmita. If you write down that, what were the struggles and how long was the study? Was it a master's? If it's a master's, definitely probably 1.5 years. And so how you managed despite all the other commitments you have around the household and coming from a different country to a new country, definitely that takes, it's a work on its own. So how did you manage? If you write how you did that, I mean, I think the easier way to give us a phone call and share with us, that'd be nice. You can, I mean, you don't have to, we can just talk about it in any way you like. I need some tips for building muscle because I need to work heavy camera equipments. Ha. Okay. So I don't know if you do some, it was masters. Yeah. So definitely 1.5 years. So that was demanding too. And masters, the time is shorter probably than a graduation, which is 3 years, or depending on where you're doing, it's 4 years. But masters is 1.5 years, but it's a lot demanding because it's definitely higher studies and post-graduation demands a lot of analysis from your side rather than regurgitating whatever you had learned. So it's definitely hard. So how you manage that despite your commitments around the household, raising your children, and also let's get back to, you said, I need some tips for building up muscle because I need to work heavy camera equipments. Okay, first of all, I think, as I said, for any habit, start in small increments. And you can do some weightlifting definitely with small weights. So anything you start, don't burn yourself out straight away rather than doing something small. Say, for example, take weights of 5 kilos rather than 10, small weights. And you do it every day of a set of probably 8 or 10, 3 sets, so 30 curls up and down. And so you have, this is the biceps, then your triceps, and definitely you need strong shoulders as well, I understand. So there are exercises for shoulders, but using some weights definitely help. But I think stretching is important. So if you learn to stretch a little bit, that would help you avoid a lot of injuries. Because even if you don't have muscle, we all have, definitely, everyone has some muscle in their body. But sometimes some muscle are not worked enough, because definitely people who do weight training, you can see their muscle, it's more visible. But everyone has a lot of muscles. I mean, otherwise you wouldn't be able to operate, move your hands or legs. You couldn't walk. You couldn't even carry your equipment. So you have that. So even if it's not visible, I think it's still doable. What you have to do a lot of stretching to avoid injuries when you're carrying heavy equipment. That's very important. And if you want to make it easier for yourself, get some small weights, probably 5 kilos of small weights you can buy from different shops easily. I think even online, Amazon, you can order them. So if you do those 3 sets, I would say, of say 10 curls, and it'll be 3 sets, so you're doing 30. That will be for your biceps if you're doing this. Then for your triceps, you can do this one, and it would build that muscle here, and that helps. Definitely you need the stronger muscles. So definitely it looks nicer as well, because you lose some fat around the arm area. And also when we work out, we definitely lose fat all over the body, and nutrition is very important, as I was saying. So you can do some walking as well, but whatever you do in small increments. Say if you want to do for 10 minutes a day, just mix it up. You walk a little bit, or even you can run in standing in one place with some music or something. You just run. Say, even if you can do it for 5 minutes, I would say you've done a great job, because it's not that easy. People might think, okay, running, standing in one place, it's not that easy. Your whole body, you'll feel tired very easily. So if you do it properly for 5 minutes, you'll feel that you're sweating and it's tiring. And also the weight training would help, but stretching before that, at least 5-10 minutes, I would say 10-12 minutes, whatever long it takes to get your body warmed up, your muscle warmed up, is very important. Otherwise injury happens. So 5 kg is fine. I'll start from tomorrow for sure. I make my priority like this: first family, second job, third photography. Okay, first family, second job. Okay, it's nice. So there's one thing missing, Shushmita, and I have to ask you, this is very important. When we say priority-wise that first family, second job, third photography, I don't see one priority there. Can you tell me which priority? Anyone can guess. Can anyone guess that I don't see in that list there's one priority, and very important priority is missing? Let's see who can answer that. Esther is watching, I know. Shushmita, you're definitely listening and watching as well, because you're commenting. So tell me, I see you mentioned first family, second job, third photography. So what very significant and important priority is missing there on that list, and which shouldn't be ignored at all? And this is what I say even for myself. I follow it. I tell Esther as well the same thing, that has to be prioritized. So which priority is missing here? Exactly. That's very important. So we always have to remember, because when people are asked, what is your priority? Sometimes people can get even offended when you say, say your husband is asking you, who's your priority? You said, of course, you are my priority and my children are my priority. But unless you look after yourself properly, unless you feel you're in a better place, mentally, physically, how do you think you can look after other people the way they deserve to be looked after? So it's very important that we look after ourselves first and foremost. We have to put ourselves first in a way, because unless we're in a better place, because if we are sick, say for example, all these things you have done or you do, if you're not in a better place physically and mentally, how will you look after yourself? And people around you, they have to understand where you're coming from. It's not selfish. It's for better productivity and better outcome, that you have to stay on top of your game. And how you do that? By looking after yourself. So it's very important that on the priority list, we always have to say that priority is me, and definitely then my family, job, or hobby or business, whatever we're doing. So Esther said, your personal well-being. Yeah. Esther answered that as well. So Shushmita, how did you do that during that time? I see that you said that I make my priority like this. So how did you do that? Share with us. You missed that on that list. I'm not holding you accountable or something, but definitely it was hard time. How did you do that? Exactly. So you're saying that for your equipment, you have to build some muscle, you have to work out, be able to be more proactive towards your fitness goals. So if you have to do that, it's very important that you start by looking after yourself. But during that time when you're studying, how did you look after yourself? Or did you look after yourself? Or did you make some time to look after yourself? Did you get to do that? Share with us. That'd be nice. And thank you. I mean, definitely, I believe in that, and I do that too. Because as Esther was saying, that despite everything that I do, I make sure that I go to the gym, and there are things that I take some time for myself. When I practice my music, when I read in my studio, just on my own, and there are things that always makes me feel or find more meaning towards my life. I do those things. It's music, going to the gym, looking after myself, and things like that. And reading, writing, gaining or gathering knowledge about the things that I care about. So it's very important. So I look after myself, and when I feel whole, when I'm happy, then I can share that happiness with my family, with my wife, Esther. So, and she gets benefited. And when I'm feeling down, when I feel that I haven't done certain things to the level that I'm supposed to, sometimes I feel bad that I failed. We all have that, even though we shouldn't. There are times when we have to accept that we can't be 100% all the time. So, but still, we can avoid the feeling that, okay, I failed myself today. Then it would compound towards my demeanor as well. And Esther might suffer, Esther might see that, but she's very understanding. Thankfully, my wife is understanding, so she helps me out. She doesn't hold me accountable and saying that you haven't been your 100% today. And she understands that I'm not my 100%. Then she supports me. That's fine. But the thing is that it's very important. This is why I make sure that I look after myself, so I can spread that joy, that happiness, that the feeling of fulfillment with the rest of us or rest of the people around me. So people who are watching now, we are talking about, as you can see from the discussion we are having with Sushmita, that it's about habit, and also a nice thing that came out of that. It's very important to prioritize ourselves over everything or everyone else, because that starts from here. And it's a very interesting thing that sometimes, say for example, if you're asked to look after someone, or you are taking care of someone from your family, you are supposed to look after their medicine, or what time they're taking their medicine, what diet they should be having. You are really careful about that. But when it comes to you, most of the time we neglect, we ignore ourselves. So this is one of the things we have to remember. And also another thing that probably you might have heard, you might have seen other people are discussing about. Sometimes do you realize that when you miss out on something, when you have done a mistake, you probably swear, you use some harsh words and very some swear words as well at times, saying that you have done something wrong, and this is how you beat yourself up. But just imagine if you talk the same way to your partner, or to your children, to your friends. Would you be able to be happy with your partner, or your partner would stay with you, or friends would be with you, or they'll be friends with you anymore? The way we sometimes talk to ourselves, if we talk the same way to the people we care about around us. So if we don't, and if we are scared to talk like that to the people we care about, how do we do that to ourselves? Because as I said, it's our priority. Once we look after ourselves, we can look after other people. And if we are not happy, then we cannot spread that happiness or that joy with other people we care about. So it's important. So anyone who's watching now, this was the message for today about habit building. I would say habit, it's when you're trying to build one, don't push yourself. It's very important. Small increments, and every day or every time, you don't have to clock in 100%. Sometimes it's 60%, sometimes 70, 80%, whatever that is. And nothing is written in stone. That there would be time that you have to allow yourself, or give yourself some allowance, that when you probably won't show up because you have other things to take care of. But you have to keep at it. Just because you haven't done it yesterday, you can't stop tomorrow. And just because you don't have an hour or half an hour or 15 minutes to do it today, that you can't do for 5 minutes. Just find some time, show up. And another thing is that everyone's process is different. What takes me a week, 21 days, 30 days, or a month to form a habit, it might take you 3 months or 4 months, but keep at it. And don't get burnt out initially. Just start small increments. That would help you. But make sure you show up. So Shushmita says, daytime households work and kids schooling, peak and drop. Wow. At night job, half of the week, and rest of the night work with my post-production. I'm also an editor. Wow. So do you do video editing or photo editing? What do you do when you said you're an editor? I never look after myself. I supposed to do it earlier. Now my physique betraying with me. True. See, this is what I'm talking about, because it will affect the things you love, the job you do, and the people who are dependent on you, your children, your husband, your family. Because if, as you're saying, it's showing symptom physical symptoms that you're suffering. I don't know how. Definitely, when we don't look after ourselves and when we don't make ourselves a priority, health-wise or mentally as well, we can't be 100%. And we are never 100% sometimes. So it's important that we get enough sleep no matter what we do. And normally when I say, another thing I always, and I learned, people who are into any kind of night shift kind of work, our circadian rhythm, it suffers. It's very important. And over time, if you keep doing it for a longer period of time, they're prone to developing type 1 or type 2 diabetes. That's been proven by research. It's been shown scientifically. It's true that people who've been working for night shift or shift work during nighttime, they tend to develop some kind of diabetes, or sometimes even cancer had been somehow related to this kind of, because we kind of interrupt our circadian rhythm. So it's very important. So sleep is so important. And nowadays, because the world has changed so much, because we are so connected digitally, so we can gather with friends, more nightly activities happen, say social gathering and going to the gym. Like the gym I go to is 24/7. Even if I go there at 3 o'clock in the morning, I see that people are still at the gym. But these things, this change, our biological clock hasn't really shifted, how our life has shifted, how the world has shifted. This change, we haven't been accustomed to it yet. So we go through a lot of long-term health risks. We run a lot of risk when we lead a life like that. So it's very important. So keep an eye. And I never look after myself. Yeah. So it's better now, Shushmita, since we discussed about this, just put it in your head that it's very important to look after yourself for you, because sometimes we feel, okay, I'll sleep less. I'll sleep for 3 hours and I'll get more work done. But what's going to happen? You'll lose a whole day the next day. So I have learned this. And when I was younger, I could have done certain things. But as I'm saying that, every year, 1 year is added to my life, or it's gone rather. So I have to be careful, and I have seen the benefit of sleeping better. It makes me more productive the next day, and I can produce more. I can do more, and especially when I go to the gym, say, for example, in the morning after a good sleep, I can run better, I feel better, and when I come out of the gym, I'm not tired, I feel revived. So it's very important. So yeah, Shushmita, you do photo editing. That's nice. I mean, I've seen your work. It's really amazing. Definitely. We'll get to work with you sometime, definitely at some point. And you and Esther, you should probably work with each other at some point, because she's a photo editor too. She's a photographer as well. So it's very interesting. The both of you have same kind of interest. She does the graphics and the video editing and everything for the podcast as well. So it'll be nice. Okay. So people who have joined with us, so we talked about certain things. I would take, if anything, I would take from this conversation today is the idea of habit building. I'm not saying that we have discussed every aspect of it, but one important thing is don't burn yourself out when you are trying to form a new habit, small increments, but make sure that you're regular, at least you're showing up. Just because you haven't been able to, you don't have the time to do it, your 100%, say if your 100% is 20 minutes or 15 minutes, just don't stop, don't give up. Just do 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever that is. And also sometimes give yourself some allowance that you won't be able to do all the time whatever you had put in your to-do list. Your to-do list, sometimes we can't. So we have to get used to the idea of slow productivity, and also it's better to think about a circadian rhythm. And when we try to build any kind of habit, we have to make sure anything prior to that, those conditions are met as well. So have you slept enough? What's your eating habit? What's your nutrition? You have to look after that. Then the rest of the things would follow in place. I mean, if you think that you just follow one advice, but one particular thing, and that would sort it out, but the other things are not properly done, then you will suffer in the long run. So it's very important. And the best of it all, I would say, prioritize yourself. If you want to look after other people, your partner, your lover, your husband, your wife, your children, or anyone, your work colleague, your friends, whoever that is, if you want to produce your best work, it's important that first you look after yourself. So on that note today, I'd like to finish because, as I said, speaking of the circadian rhythm, I don't want to be at the gym for too long. So I have to come home, I have to get my sleep by 10:30, latest 11, so I can have a 7.5 hour sleep. So on that note, everyone who's watching today, I'm really grateful who have watched, and later on it will be there on YouTube, it would be there on Facebook. Also, you can catch this episode and also the audio clip on iTunes, and the episode will be in knowingwhoyouare.blog, the website. So if you haven't checked the website, please check the website, and we'll discuss more and see you next week. In the meantime, I promise there would be some interviews that I'll be posting soon that we'll finish editing, and also I've done some amazing interviews and you should be watching them very soon. And keep your eyes peeled, and thanks for your support. And Shushmita, Esther, and whoever else watched the show today, and thanks a lot. Have a good evening. Good night.